Hello, foodies, and welcome back to Food and Review. Buckle up because we've got some huge news for you. And trust me, this is going to be the biggest season yet. We're in season 7. We've been working around the clock to bring you more and more content, better experiences, and fresh new shows. So here it is. Let's dive right into the changes you've been waiting for, but I couldn't do this alone. My name is John, and I'm joined by my dear friend. You know him as the Food and Review Teddy Bear. It's none other than Chris, aka Grandpapa Mac. Hello, Chris.
Hello, my friend. How are you? It's been an absolute age since we've done this, isn't it?
You still know how to start that microphone, though?
Yeah, doing my best.
Are you hyped for the game? Let's start with that.
Oh, I am buzzing, mate. Absolutely buzzing. I see that the ratings are out tonight. We will not spoil anybody's Friday by looking at them. There's some weird ones in there, and there's also some mega players in there as well.
Definitely. I am so hyped for this game, but I'm even more hyped for a new Food in Review season. Season 7, Chris. 620 episodes behind us. Let's go into another 620, but let's not do 620 this year, shall we?
Yeah, do our best, but you never know. Might be close.
We might, but let's get into that shortly. So, Chris, tonight I wanted to talk about everything we're changing for the new season. So we got 1 week left when we're recording this until the game releases in, pre-release, I guess, or early release, early access, depends how you call it. So we'll talk the game next week. And from September 20th on, we'll be doing all this new goodness for things we're going to talk about today. So just dive into it.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Chris, change number 1. Let's take a deep dive. It's the big one. It's daily content, Chris. Yeah, that's right. Every single day. From Tuesday to Saturday, you wake up at 7 a.m. UK time to find a brand new episode waiting for you. And, of course, for our patrons, you'll get it early. The same evening we record it, and it's our way of giving back to the people who support us the most. Every day's Food and Review Day now. And we kick off these daily shows from September 23rd onwards, right after the game hits early access. Chris, that's a big commitment, right?
Deep breath, John. Big deep breath needed for this one. We've done it before. It's tough, but we want to do it for all our loyal listeners out there, our Patreon members, our Discord members as well. It gives us a chance to be fast on our feet. Sometimes we feel with the shows that we can be a little bit behind the ball, if something mega happens. So it's going to be coming to you in your ears in the morning. 7 a.m., did you say, John?
7 a.m. UK, it's there.
7 a.m. UK. So it's going to be amazing, guys. You're going to want to tune in. You won't want to miss anything. John, you're going to talk about the format of the shows as well, but I just think it'll allow us to be that little bit lighter on our feet, and we can react to, undoubtedly, there will be some controversy in FC 25.
Oh, 100% it is. What do you think you are most excited about when we ask about delivering daily fresh content?
Well, I love speaking to the listeners, I'll be honest with you. I absolutely love speaking to those guys. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to sharing my views. Not always that we agree, John. We are still disagreeing about high pressure, even late into the game. We're still having a wee dig at each other in our Discord as well. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to interacting with all our listeners.
Definitely. Shall we just go rolling on?
Yeah, definitely. The thing is to say, when something happens, if it happens on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, sometimes it won't be till Friday we can react to it. We now have that ability to tell you exactly what we think. As you know, in this show, we can be critical, but we are never negative. So you will always get an honest opinion from this show.
Yeah, definitely. And now we're closer on to everything that happens. So I can't wait for some of the content mistakes this year.
You never know, John. There might be none. It could just be you and I talking, saying how wonderful EA is.
I got a message saying, if you guys go daily, that means EA doesn't make mistakes. I'm afraid of you guys talking about it. Who knows?
Who knows? One thing for sure is, if someone's going to spot it, it will be our good friend Ingve. He spots everything.
Definitely. Number 2, though. And this might seem a small one, Chris, but it's a huge one for us. We are moving everything from Food and Review to its own social starting September 13. That is when we record this episode. All updates, content, community goodness will all be over at Food and Review on X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc. Do you know why? Because after 600 episodes plus, 620 so far, it is time to let Food and Review shine even brighter on its own stage. So the food coaching platform has been massive for us. Like last year, we had a couple of TikToks that had literally millions of views, and that does help the show. But we know Food and Review can be even bigger when it stands on their own feet. So hit that follow, hit that subscribe, and let's go. Because, well, we definitely need some growth on these channels. Chris, what do you think? Is there something you are nervous about like I am, or are you ready to just watch Food and Review grow even bigger on its own?
I think we're ready for the growth, John. I think the In Review brand will be absolutely massive, as we're going to talk about later as well. But having it just in the one place, people loved your TikToks when you said the wrong buttons as well. Was that deliberate ploy? Was that one of those EA quirks that you put in there? Who knows? You'll never admit to it. But I think it's a lot easier for all our listeners to get all the goodness that we give them.
Definitely might need to explain that one though. What happened there?
Well, I think what happened, John, was was it penalties, John? I'm trying to remember the top of my head. It was one of the biggest ever.
It was a new direct tackle.
Yeah, so that one, and John had actually put up the wrong information, and it's one of our biggest ever videos. People telling him he was wrong. So I was wondering if it's one of those ones where bad no news is bad news. Is that what they say? Good news or something like that. I don't know the saying, but I wonder if you did that on purpose to get all those views, John. Are you willing to come clean?
I am clean. I am coming clean there. No, I did not do that on purpose. I actually got the notes. So when we start making content, we have videos. We got folders where we put all the videos in, all the gameplay videos, and we put on the notes, so I know where to talk about, right? Because I can't make all the footage alone. So we got a great team at foodcoaching.com doing that. And apparently, I mixed up the notes with the video clip itself. So I was talking about, for example, I think I was talking about a time direct shot or a direct shot or something when it was actually the free kick or the direct tackle or something. And people were like, I posted it and I was like, hey, why do we have like 10,000 views? Why do we have 20,000 views? Why after 20 minutes we have 250,000 views? What's going on here? And my battery literally ran out of my phone. So I came back home, 1.4 million views, and it just kept going. And everyone just responded because I said the wrong things. And I was like, I should delete it for the sake of my pride, but I'm not deleting this one. I'm just going to boast about that 8 million or something that was at the end.
No,
but it was a mistake. It was a mistake.
We've come clean earlier, John.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm not like a certain developer. If I make a mistake, I'll own up to it. Chris, number 3 though. So just to make sure, just follow us at everything at Food and Review. And for the time being, of course, the guys at Food Coaching will push us, but we're now standing on our own feet. So number 3, let's talk about this Friday show. The show we are doing now, Chris, because from now on, we'll be streaming every Friday show live for everyone on YouTube at youtube.com/Food and Review. So tune in, be part of the action, and catch the show in real time. You can ask us anything, and I know formerly we've been streaming it to our Discord community, but now on Friday at least we'll make it an action-packed show available for everyone. But the rest of the week, sure, you have to be a Patreon to watch us live. Chris, streaming live, as you might know, and especially after you've seen us try to do a big tournament in Crete live, it's a different beast, don't you think? Oh. What do you think about the energy of live audience versus regular shows, for example?
It's amazing. Let's be honest, John. You and I have done 2 in Crete in front of live audiences, and actually the buzz that you get from people being there just makes a big difference. Football without the crowds, we've seen it in COVID, was absolutely terrible. Listening to those empty stadiums. So for us, I know we have good banter between the 2 of us, the 3 of us when these people are on, but actually having interactive, comments and that will be absolutely great. And we can adapt the show as we go along as well. So as I say, we always get an honest show on this platform, and you guys can ask us any questions that you want. We may not answer all of them if they're personal, but we're looking forward to it. So please join us. It's going to
Yeah,
be,
we definitely will not answer everything like you said. You just beat me to that one sentence.
Just DM us privately. We may answer them privately and send photos if you really wanted. But to be honest with you, please just join us. It's going to be good fun. You could sit there on a Friday, the latest content. You've got the likes of Ingve to ask questions. You've got tactics to ask John. If you want to share your dad jokes with us, as long as they're clean, we'll happily share them on the screen as well.
Definitely. I don't know dad jokes. You might have to do one later on the show, though.
I'll do my
It's
best.
not part of the new extras, at least. No, I'm seriously though, Chris. I'm looking forward to doing this, getting some new people and and I know, especially since we're changing channels, well, it'll be small at the start at least, and that's totally fine. I just want to give those options in to make sure we can offer these. So.
I mean, it's going to be pressure as well, isn't it? Because we are now live broadcasting to the world. Everybody can see us. It's going to be strange. So I'm going to, as you've got a nice new haircut for it, I wish you had told me. I'm having to wear a hat at the moment because my hair's that bad. But we all can admire your new haircut, John. Looking very sleek as well. Looking a lot younger, I have to say.
No, I can tell you what happened there, if I'm quite honest. So at Foot Coaching, we have a partner called Knox Sports who gave us who provide us, and we work with them for the video analysis tools. So these are the same tools used by Liverpool, etc. But that's not actually the point. They have started a new esports webpage, just a new esports section, and I had an interview there where I also needed to make some pictures. So I was like, I need to make some pictures for that website, and while I'm at it, I might as well make sure I look good before I go host the first show of the week.
Definitely, mate. No, you're looking well, my friend. You're looking well.
Cheers. Chris, number 4, introducing a brand new Patreon exclusive show. It's called The Art of FUT. Every 2 weeks, at a minimum, is what I'm saying. We might do some more. Nathan, Archel, and myself will take a deep dive into gameplay and tactics. The first episode is already live. And if you're not a Patreon, or not a Patreon yet, I should say, maybe you can either subscribe to our Patreon, of course, or purchase individual episodes now directly at patreon.com/footinreview. It's just, I think we put up the episodes for $3 now. €3, £3, not honestly, but like 3 something. But I mean, a sub is €5 a month. So if you want to buy them individual, that's fine. If you want to get the cheapest sub, it's 5. So I think it's definitely value. We did the first show. Have you, by any chance, been able to check that out yet?
100%. I watched the show. It's great. So this is what I loved about the show, John, was I actually was on my turbo trainer. I was on my bike doing some indoor cycling and watching the show at the same time. So it took me off the pain of trying to go up some mountains. And it was a great show. You guys, first of all, I don't think there's 3 better guys in the FC game to talk about tactics, talk about, formations, talk about gameplay. Yourself, an Uber coach. You've got Art, who's a tremendous player, a master formation builder, and Nath, a real life coach. In real life, we've seen him, haven't we, in the touchline, screaming abuse at his players. We've seen him there. So let's be honest, if he brings that energy, he's going to keep you 2 guys on your toes, that's for sure. The shows are great. The shows are great. If someone's unsure, look for Art's YouTube channel and you'll see his formation building videos on there, and the length that they are, the detail that he goes into. I don't think you're going to get a better way how to play the game, and it's interactive. John, am I right in saying that?
Definitely. It's also, whenever we go recording there, every patron can just join us live as well. There are forums on our Discord server. Discord server is, of course, totally free, where you can just drop any questions you have, remark, gameplay, tactics, etc. And if Art decides to put out those videos again, he 100% will. But hey, I'm not trying to force him. So if he puts out a formation, we will also take that formation and talk about it in that show even more in depth. So there's plenty of options there to do anything tactically. And by the looks of it, FC25 might be tactically on a whole different level. Yeah. So I'm so looking forward to implementing and doing more of these shows. Of course, it's a little bit new. The thing is, since it's a Patreon-only show, we are not bound by, we are bound by language, but a little bit less. Let's put it like this. We are also not bound by time. So say this show takes 20 minutes, it takes 20 minutes. Does it take 2 hours? probably good to talk about, and we'll do it in 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think the first show is a little bit over an hour, or just about an hour. I think that will be the average, but it's extra content, and I definitely think it's good content as well, as far as the first responses give us. And we have noticed that if we do these shows on a Friday or on a Tuesday, for example, where we take a full deep dive into gameplay and not content, there's definitely an audience that's not interested in pure gameplay talks, and there's an audience that tunes in specifically for that. So we decided to split them up and to make it more focused.
I was just going to add, John. I've had and open and honest, I've signed up for 12 months for the Patreon. Did that this month.
As a crew member, which still I find a bit weird, but hey,
no, I've signed. So I put my money where my mouth is. I don't tell people to join if I'm not willing to put the money up myself. So I've paid for my. I think I'm an ultra. I think off the top of my head, I've paid for my 12 months. I'm sure, John, if you pay for 12 months, there's a discount there for people who want to join our Patreon. But what I was going to add was I learned something. I'm steeped in this game, and I learned something even just watching that video for 10 minutes. And I think with FC25 and the changes to the roles, etc., I think we're going to see a real change in this game compared to what we've had in the past. We've had new chemistry, and then we've had playstyle pluses. But I think with this role thing, it's going to be massive, and I think people are going to be really confused. And I think if you really want to get a deep dive in there, these are the guys to learn from.
Yeah, I can't wait till in a week from now when we're actually playing. Next week we already had it. When we record next week's show, we had a full day already behind us with playing. I can't wait to tinker around with this. And I'll share one tip which we set in the gameplay footage as well, and the gameplay show as well. And that's all about the KISS tactic. And there's plenty of people that use KISS as a as a way of living or a way of working projects. But I like to say keep it super simple. Just start out with a big 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-2 next week. Play a couple of squad battles matches first. Maybe even play Friday till Saturday squad battles to make sure you get the rewards on a Sunday and you get a little bit used to the game. And then start to add one player which has a good focus on a different role, for example, and see how that goes. I think that's the easiest way to start. Keep it super simple.
Yeah. I do feel as well, John, I don't know if you feel the same as me, that the day of posting on X, team formation and all that is gone now. This game seems to have been slightly more in depth with the roles.
Definitely. I would love to do this whole show talking about it, if I'm quite honest.
I'm trying my best, John, to try the information from you.
I'm so hyped about this. Now, the biggest thing, let's put it like this. I think if we take let's take 2 minutes to talk about gameplay in general, right? From the new game. Passing has been massively changed, in my honest opinion. You can't no-scope pass anymore. When you get the ball, you have to turn around. You actually have to look where you're passing. And you can try it, but it's far less accurate. So those blind ping pong passes or blind shots where you're with the back against the goal, turn around, immediately trigger a power shot, for example, those are going to be really hard / impossible to pull off. But it also means if you have a player with excellent passing, now they can make a pass from, say, right midfield to left forward. Well, if he doesn't have the right stats, that pass will go over the byline. And I think those changes everyone will notice straight from the start. And of course, we have to adapt from not using 99 rated players anymore. But that's one of the changes I'm the most happy about. And I already know, and I've seen it in the beta as well, people will complain about passing doesn't work or passing is far less accurate or far less enjoyable. But I think if you get used to this new way of thinking and feels a little bit more like real football, I think people are going to love it.
Good.
At least so far I have.
Well, as someone who isn't a skiller and is a passer, it's absolutely great news for me.
Well, skills still have a place in the game. But hey.
We can only hope.
Definitely. We're not done yet, Chris.
Is there more?
We are 20 minutes in and it's time for change number 5.
Oh, wow.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Cool. Number 5, though, we are keeping things tight with set show lengths. So we'll have 2 big shows every single week. Will be 45 minutes long. we are going to try to make it exactly 45 minutes long, just like a football half. Those shows will be recorded on a Tuesday, most likely, so released for non-Patreons on a Wednesday morning, and recorded on a Friday evening and released for non-patrons on Saturday morning. And again, if you're Patreon, the moment we have hit record, you can watch live, and the moment we're done with editing, you get the show on your feeds. And our daily shows, Chris, well, those will be short and sweet. So whenever we don't have a big show, which will probably be on Monday evening, Wednesday evening, Thursday evening, we will be having those short and sweet shows, 15 minutes max. And we've done that before in the past. Our shows were usually maximum 15 minutes. But we had so much to talk about. We grow so hard that we went into 90-minute shows, etc. But this time, we're going to keep it short and sweet. So 50 minutes max, 3 times a week, and 2 45-minute shows on the Tuesday and the Friday recording, hitting you with the hottest topics and, of course, the freshest content of the day. We'll be recording as close as we can on content release. It kind of depends on who's been doing. I think I'll be hosting the first couple of shows at the start at least, but in the near future, I think this is really exciting. At least I feel this way, Chris, is we want you, our fans, but aiming specifically at our patrons, to join us on these daily episodes. What do you think, Chris? It will be a challenge, right, to pack everything in those shorter shows, but what do you feel about it?
As long as we're punchy, John, that's the thing. I mean, we've listened to our listeners. Nobody wants to hear me waffle on and on about high pressure, do they? I've said it enough times, but I think 45 minutes is a great length for the show. You know, I think people have started to hopefully notice we're a bit more structured in terms of how we do the shows. And then the 15 minutes is great for people. Let's just talk about the most pressing point of the day and just fire it on. You know, let's talk about it. You know, also, if people have any questions, that could take up 15 minutes of our show. So again, for our listeners out there, Discord members, Patreon people, you can actually influence how we talk about the show. If there's something that really bothers you and it's important, drop us a message. I'm sure we'll talk about it. And likewise as well, as if you're saying that our Discord members, Patreon members are able to join the show, John, that's brilliant. You know, fresh voices on here makes this show actually what makes it so special.
Definitely. And I think it's the 15-minute shows will be a nice entry point for new people coming on who want to talk about FIFA, have something to say about FIFA. I say FIFA, but I mean FC, of course. I'm so glad it's at least called Football Ultimate Team again. I don't have to say "ut" all year again. And I think that's I'm so looking forward to putting that into place. But you started as well, like doing a show as a guest. The first couple of times or the first time can be really daunting.
Yeah.
But if it's just 15 minutes and you just get asked questions or participating in conversation for 15 minutes, it's way easier to get started, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen ourselves, John. We've done the live shows in Crete. You know, people when they first come on are a little bit nervous, and then once they slowly get into it,
they never stop talking.
Yeah, their personality comes out. You know, people like Caden. You know, it was absolutely great to talk to him. He was absolutely brilliant on the show, and someone like him for 15 minutes, the guy's got loads of great opinions. It would be great to hear from him.
Definitely. We might need subtitles though, we can.
Well, it depends if he's sitting at the bar in Crete or if he's actually just, sitting at home.
That is actually fair. I am, of course, kidding. We appreciate every single fan. And I think Caden is one of our special fans.
Yeah, he's a great guy. The thing is, as we know, William Crete, he's an absolutely great lad,
Yeah, you can check him out, by the way, on our Crete special podcast, which we did as well. You can see him there. He's actually a national rugby team player, so I'll try not to insult him too much today.
No.
Hey, Chris, if you you watch lots of football, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other sports you enjoy watching?
John,
or don't enjoy watching with me? Maybe I should.
No, John, you're just baiting me in here. Let's be honest, because I told you once before that IndyCar racing was far better than Formula One, and for some strange reason, I've become addicted to Formula One. So yeah, I've enjoyed. I sat and watched the whole Italian Grand. Is it the Italian Grand Prix was on the last one, wasn't it? With Ferrari one. I sat and watched it from beginning to end. I missed it watching the Vuelta. So I didn't watch the cycling. Yes, it is a boring sport. I'll hasten to add that. Cycling is boring, but I do love it. And I sat and watched the Formula One from start to finish. I normally just watch it for the crashes at the very start, and there was none. It's really disappointing. But no, I've really enjoyed it. And for some reason, yourself and James have got me hooked to it now.
Yeah, so that's a good bridge. Actually, more positive than I expected. Number 6, Chris, we are expanding. So get ready for our brand new channel and podcast. We're doing 2 things at the same time. It's called Race in Review. You might have seen the logos pop up here and there now. I am joined by my dear friend James, who you could have heard on the show called F1 in Focus, or actually, he's been our photographer on our Crete events as well. But James and I will talk all things sim racing. Yes, we are expanding our gamma of games. And on the Race in Review podcast, we'll cover everything Formula One. So there's already like a new episode after every Formula One race. It was on the previous show, F1 in Focus. We rebranded that to Race in Review as well. So after every Formula One race, Race in Review will upload a new episode discussing that. And on the Race in Review YouTube channel, we need a lot more subs though. You can find our first steps into, well, we try to make it professional sim racing, but for now, let's see how a couple of amateurs do in the real big sim racing world, I think. As we describe it there, Chris, I'm John and I'm slow. He's James. He's fast and he's trying to teach me not to crash.
Well, I seen that last. You put a video up there on our Discord. I think it was Max Verstappen took you out allegedly. He says before he gets sued because he was at the back, and nowadays Max seems to be at the back. So I think it was him.
Yeah, let's not talk about that for now. But no, I think just sidestep there. We started food coaching and food review with the passion, most of my passion from foot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my football passion. My other passion has always been sim racing, and I've watched Formula One my whole life. So we decided to take a leap into proper sim racing. So that's more the die-hard games, and boy, are these hard. If you think foot can be hard in elite rifles, you ain't seen nothing yet when you face these guys there. So it's ruthless, it's cutthroat. And I've made a fool out of myself a couple of times already. But we do that for the fans. So you can check all that out in the channels really soon.
I mean, John, I've seen the rig that you've got set up. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm sure with your talents, it won't take you long before you're near the front.
Well, the thing is, Chris, the biggest difference between foot and sim racing is that foot I play with my hands, and with sim racing I got to use my whole body, and it actually wears you out playing.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty rough when you get some, like you can't see the new gear here, but I'll send a picture sometime. But with the new gear, it is a proper workout when you try to do it. And I'm noticing that in foot I may be playing under my age, but I'm definitely playing as my age or above my age when I play sim racing.
You'll just need to join Masters League then at Sim Racing, John.
Yeah, the elderly league maybe something like that. But I'm really looking forward to it.
And I think as well, John, just off the sim racing as well, as I say, I'm a fairly newbie to Formula One. It just seems now, you know, with Max Verstappen, I know we wind up you being Dutch and a massive Max Verstappen fan, that it seems to be a lot more exciting now because it seems to be a more level playing field. You know, you've got Max there sort of struggling a little bit to make pace, Ferrari winning, there's so many different winners. It just seems to be, you know, a lot tighter. And when you see racing and the skill levels, and I mean, the favourite thing I love about this is when you actually see from inside the car what these guys can actually see. You're like, OMG, how are they able to drive at those speeds with that sort of view?
It does prove that we definitely need first-person cameras in football as well, don't we?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, you know. And you know, if nobody's ever watched a Formula One race, I would check it out and check the guys out on the pod as well.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, it can be as green as grass. Just send us, and we can even talk about it anonymously if you want. But we're there to help because we're new with sim racing, and we're definitely not new in Formula One. So if we can help you score Formula One, we'll definitely be able to. But let's get back, Chris, into foot. I had to mention it because one, hey, it's promotion. Two, it's something I'm very eager to do about. So if you follow me on socials, you definitely see that pop up somewhere. And I just had to explain it. And I'm just proud to be expanding on that one as well. Number 7, Chris, our Patreon, of course. Our Patreon is refreshed. I think it's better than ever. We got new perks. We got new shows. We already spoke about that. Talk about new shows. If you're wondering about the training show, we'll definitely have a training show, at least to get started again. But like if EA decides to change the market like they did last year, there's not too much to talk about. We used to make, Daniel talk about cheat sheets, as we call them, little sheets of information with options to buy. They teach you how to fish, not actually give you fish. I think it's a really good way. But last year has been proven difficult for everyone to trade unless you spend an insane amount of time. So if the option's there in the game, Daniel and Shaq will definitely get into it. If not, we always will make sure the gameplay show will get out as well. So you might get more shows, but you won't get less shows at least. But there's so many. I'm not going to discuss all. There's so many. Just check it out. Go to patreon.com/foodandreview or check out, of course, our website, foodandreview.com, if you want to see everything. We got new merchandise. We are running, when you're listening, by the way, to this or watching, we have a 15% discount on all our merchandise and free standard shipping. So until next week somewhere. So maybe might be a good time to check it out as well. But there's like the Rage Quit shirt, Chris, it's all good. But my favorite part for the new Patreon benefits. Oh yeah, you're actually wearing it. My favorite part is definitely the new gameplay show. What's been your favorite new addition to the Patreon program so far, Chris?
Well, you stole my thunder, John. It's the art of FUT. For me, is going to be absolutely amazing. I think people are going to love that. We love our Discord members and we absolutely love our Patreon members as well. The Discord is free. So, if you're unsure, come and join, have a wee look, you know what I mean? And then you can join the Patreon and you will not miss out. And as well as that is this show, The Art of FUT, has come from suggestions from our Patreon members. So actually you have the ability to shape how we move forward, This is a community built by the community for the community. So, I see that Ronaldo's hit 1 billion social media subscribers. We're not quite at that level yet, but actually,
I've invited him on, but he didn't respond, unfortunately.
Well, I'm not sure he'd be up to point, John, to be honest with you. But
he says, "Is this a UFL podcast?" I tried to say yes, but I couldn't do it.
But that's what I'm saying. If you come and join, you have the ability to shape how we move forward as well. We take all your suggestions really seriously. John will try anything. You just send him a suggestion. If it works, it works. But no, the Art of FUT, I would not miss out on that show because that is going to make your journey through FC25 a lot easier and a lot more fun.
Yeah, 100%. And you said community, and I mean it. We mean it. If you have an idea, suggestion for the show, send us. What we've done over the summer is people that send in good suggestions, and we take those suggestions seriously, and we like the idea. Don't worry, we don't make it a contest because we don't want to force ideas. But if you send in a great idea and we take it and we like it, or we want to get inspiration from it, we'll send you a present. We've sent T-shirts over the summer to not even Patreons, but members on the Discord that send in a great idea. We've sent caps to people that has been supporting us for a while. We've sent baby. I don't even know. Bibs, I think we call
Bibs,
Bibs. We sent bibs to people that were part of the community and got a baby. So congratulations to you as well. It's just how we want to do this with the community. So everything you say to us, we take into consideration, and hopefully the other way around works as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is literally $1 a week, John. I don't think it's much more expensive than that. Do you know what I mean? You cannot, it's almost, I was going to say, as cheap as a coffee, but coffee is so expensive these days, it's actually cheaper.
No, try getting coffee and Creed. It's actually as much as a membership.
Yeah, so I would suggest to people, come and join. You absolutely will not leave. You'll have an absolute ball. It's your community. We've built it for you.
Yeah, 100%. I can't talk about that, though. It's time for number 8, Chris. And don't worry, I won't go on too much longer because I can go into all the details. But we are introducing a lot more steady topics, which will be continuing coming up. For example, formation of the week, food coach tip for the week, you all name. Well, one thing I am You also have a great one, but we'll let people find out that one soon enough, Chris. I want to talk about this one. It's called the Community Team of the Week. If you join our Discord, which Chris already said, it's totally free, and you can get involved in this awesome competition, but also maintain a database of your team throughout the year. So share your team. There's a dedicated forum where you put your name in or your username, or just say my team, whatever. You put your team in there. You can put as many editions of your team as you want. Every time you change, you put it there. You want feedback, you ask for feedback. Hey, I'm looking this. What could be a great left back? You just ask it. You get community. Once you hit a tag, it's a tag. I think it's called Community Team of the Week. You hit that tag. You submit that team for the Community Team of the Week, and that way you shared your team. And every Friday, we'll choose a standout squad to feature in our show. We take the most creative, the most fun, the most meta, the most amazing team we can find. Avy will be the main judge. I'm already saying that. And we'll just feature your name and your team on this Friday stream. And I think it's free. It's fun. It's a great way to be part of the community, to come in. And I think it's also cool to just go into that forum and check your whole team throughout the year. At the end of the year, for example, this was my team 20 weeks ago. That's actually pretty fun. But anyways, that's what I think, Chris. What do you think?
It's almost like you read my mind, John, because I'm sitting here at the end with the game. It's I've just got myself my first ever Mbappe, 98 rated. I've not had one all season. I'm thinking to myself, what's my team's been like throughout the period? How they developed? I'm thinking back when I heard Dan and Shaq talked about the best promos, etc., and the cards, and I'm thinking to myself, I wish I had a way to go back and see how my team was. Did I get those players? Do I remember them properly? This is absolutely brilliant. And then, cherry on the top of the cake, you've got Ingve. We call him Mr. FIFA Database simply because he is Mr. FIFA Database. I think he knows more about the game than EA himself. He's very active on their forums. He is a man who managed to get his $2.99 rated cards back. I mean, he is like a dog with a bone, and he did not let EA get away with that at all. So you've got someone like Ingve looking at these teams. You can't get better. The suggestions you're going to get from him as well, or even from our Discord or Patreon members as well, absolutely brilliant. I think it's a wonderful idea, and I'll certainly be using it.
Yeah, and it's not something like we don't get anything out of it. We just like help building teams. We like to see your teams. I think we just want to make sure the community gets something back in the show. I kind of like that. And like you said, someone asked me, what's your starter team like? I don't know what my starter team last year was, because whenever I send these things, I usually delete my photos afterwards. So I have no idea anymore. And I should actually build a database or put it in these forums myself to make sure I'm going to be better at that.
And it may also spark some ideas for yourself when you see other people's teams. We won't be going with the most meta team either. I'm sure he hates meta anyway, so I doubt very much he'll do that. But, give you an idea of, wait a minute, with these new changes to the game, that player there, why is that player there? It might make you start thinking, help your game as well.
Yeah, definitely. I want to ask you the one thing in the new game. It's about to get started. What is the one player you want to get in your team as soon as possible? And why?
This is going to be a weird one, but a big centre half. Lewandowski, potentially. I don't know what his rating is. I need to go and maybe check FC25. But a player like Lewandowski is the one I always look to get, because he's quite cheap. He scores goals for you, and he suits my style of play. So a player like that would do me just fine. What about yourself, John?
I usually do two things. I always take one player I want to get in and build my team around. I am fairly confident that this year that might be Modric. Probably won't be too expensive, but I've seen the stats and I'm like, could really work well this year to start off with. And I always try to get a icon, like usually icon striker, in week 1.
Right.
Because 1, they're pretty good at start. 2, work rate sucked last year on many, but hey, we don't have those anymore, so they might actually be far better than we expect. And 3, it's easy to build your team around. And even better, after 3-4 weeks, those prices will be doubled or tripled. Mm-hmm. So definitely something that does not hurt too much, if I'm honest. So a icon and icon striker and one of the players, and that's probably going to be Modric or De Jong this year for me.
And I know you've noticed, and I know we meant to talk about FC25, but I have to always sneak a question in, John, and I'm watching the time as well, so make sure we don't pass the 45 minutes. But Do you think the game with a player like Van Basten may be suited?
Yes. I mean, you're talking to the guy that has the Van Basten shirt hanging around his office, but it's definitely something I'm looking forward to giving him a spin. Although, of course, I haven't been able to. But yeah, I think changing the work rates makes a massive difference in the long run. As they don't start giving them random cam cards, that might be a good way of get him going. Yeah, I'm curious about that one. Also, Clivert, for example, for this
Yeah,
throw.
someone like
There's
that.
plenty of options that
Yeah.
could actually work really well. I hear some music, which means we're in the last 5 minutes of the show, Chris.
Brilliant.
But before we wrap up, we've got 2 major events lined up this season. Do you want to do the first one? Announce the first one.
Yeah, we will be hosting a Scottish meetup in November where John and I will talk about the dates and post it on our Discord. The only rule is please be a Discord member, and we'll love to see you. It'll be either a Saturday or a Sunday. We're hoping that some people can fly in as well. We've got a few people coming from outside the UK. Everyone is... Yep. Well, you're the main man, John, so I'm hoping you'll be coming. I truly want to just meet me. But it'll be a good day. We'll have some fun things to do. And it's always been a good laugh. And we'll post it up on our socials in the Discord when that's free. But it's free to come. We'll probably play darts or do something random. I think we've played darts, pool, everything under the sun.
Maybe a little bit of FC somewhere.
Maybe play FC if we can get it. But no, it's going to be a great event. It's always good fun to have you over to Scotland, John, and give you some iron brew.
Well, no, not going to go into much detail there. Chris, the last but not least, and this is next year though, and you can already make reservations for that. It is the big one, a big one, from May the 12th to May the 16th, 2025. It sounds so far away, but actually isn't that far away. We are heading once again for the 3rd time in a row to Crete in Greece for a huge food and review event. You're not going to want to miss either of these events. But if you want to look at how the event was in Greece last year, just have a look at our food coaching YouTube channel still for now. But we'll post that on the food and review channel as well. I can't wait to go back. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. And I've said that before, but this year, when I look at the plans, Chris, it's going to be massive.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And I just want to tell people as well as that you can bring partners. So you're allowed to bring partners as well. And it's not...
We're paying for the hotel. Stay is free. Just pay your flights. Exactly. Just want to put out there.
You get bed and breakfast, and there would be 2, probably a welcome dinner, a farewell dinner. But what I just say about people who are thinking, do I bring my partner? Is it all about gaming? Well, Lara's been twice. That's my wife. And then this year, unfortunately, I felt a little bit unwell, picked up a virus. And actually, she had a wonderful time. I think it was because I was in my bed for 3 days, but she had an absolutely wonderful time. And she met new friends from last year as well. Yeah. And if your partner's thinking of going and she's going, no, it's all about gaming, I have to say the FC25 is important, but actually it's more about making friends. And I think, John, you'd agree, we've made some wonderful friends going to those 2 events, haven't we?
100%. First friend I met was in Scotland. You might have known him. No, but seriously, these are cool things. And it's just nice to get some like-minded people together. And for partners, trust me, every year partners come back as well, and there's more every year. They wouldn't be coming if it was just food, I think.
Mm-hmm. No, it's absolutely
so guys,
wonderful.
Here you have it. A new era, if I can say so, of food in review is here. Get ready for daily shows, live streams, exclusive Patreon content, and so much more. Whether you're here for food, sim racing, Formula One, or just great content and dad jokes, this season has something for everyone. Make sure to subscribe, follow all of the Food and Review socials. These are free and you'll definitely be helping us. Give us some reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And let's make this season the best one yet. Chris, that leaves us with one thing left to do. Do you still remember, after all this time, 7 seasons, 620 episodes, it's time for us to...
Drop it.
Drop it.
FUT. FUT.